Right, good day students. This time I will be explaining the questions that you have in your thermodynamics, electricity, and magnetism na practice test. Okay, so let's start with question number 1. Okay, temperature is defined as the average translational kinetic energy of the molecules. Suppose hydrogen and oxygen molecules in a gas sample have the same temperature. Which of the following statement is correct? So again, temperature is the kinetic energy of the molecules. Since hydrogen and oxygen have the same temperature, that means they also have the same kinetic energy. Okay? So, um, we already have here same kinetic energy. Let's find same kinetic energy. Same speed, but have more kinetic energy. Oxygen has more kinetic energy. Okay. Letter A is incorrect. Letter B, hydrogen molecules have the same speed. Okay. As oxygen molecules, but have less kinetic energy. Okay. It might be letter B. Okay. Letter C, hydrogen molecules have the same kinetic energy as the oxygen molecules, but travel with greater speeds. Okay. Same kinetic energy lang gihapon. It might be letter C gihapon. Okay, it might be B or C. Let's look for letter D. Hydrogen molecules have the same kinetic energy as the oxygen molecules but travel with lesser speed. Okay? So, um, yeah, it's only letter C pala. It's only letter C and letter D because only letter C and letter D has the same kinetic energy. Letter B, same yung speed nila. Okay? So, dapat pangitaw na itong asa ang same ang kinetic energy sa itong choices because again, they have the same temperature, ang hydrogen and oxygen. That means they also have the same kinetic energy. So, it could be letter C and letter D. But the difference between the two is, in letter C, mas paspas ang pag-travel ni hydrogen kaysa kang oxygen. Sa letter D, mas kini ang paspas si oxygen, okay, kaysa kang hydrogen. Okay, asa ka ang answer din ha. But the correct answer here, best answer natin dito is si letter C. Why? It's because, again, the same yung temperature nila, the same po lang average kinetic energy. However, hydrogen molecules are lighter, meaning gamay ang iyahang mass compared to oxygen. It's because of their kini ang atomic mass. Okay, mas bugat og atomic mass si oxygen compared kang hydrogen. So that means hydrogen, although parehas lang sila og kinetic energy with oxygen, it travels at a greater speed because it is lighter compared to kini ang oxygen, which is um, kini ang heavier compared to hydrogen. So I have here, by the way, this is best explained by yung ideal gas law. But I have here a simulation. Let me get first, ayan, here. Okay, nag-loading pa. Okay, pandamay. I thought it's already loaded kanina. Okay, let's wait na lang. Okay, diffusion this one. Okay, so let's check this one. Center of the mass, particle flow rate, scale, stopwatch. Alright. So let's say for example, we will put the same amount of particles. Okay, let's say for example, the blue one is hydrogen and the red one is oxygen. Okay, but here they have the same kinetic energy because they have the same temperature. But if we decrease here, let's say for example, i-decrease na to ang mass ni oxygen, which is yung blue na balls here, what will happen? Okay, observe what will happen. Okay? So, as you can see here, although they have the same temperature or the same kinetic energy, yung dalawang particles natin, but yung blue particles natin looks fast when they are traveling or moving compared to the red particles here. It's because, again, it has lighter mass compared to this one. This is heavier compared to the blue one. So if we are going to take these particles here as hydrogen compared to heavier oxygen, again, hydrogen travels at greater speed compared to oxygen, even though they have the same, okay, temperature or kinetic energy. Okay, so I hope this one helps you to understand this question. So letter C ang atong best answer. Okay, number 2. The rate of heat transfer by radiation depends on the surface area of the body that radiates electromagnetic wave. Assuming that stars radiate energy at the same rate, which of the following is the biggest? Blue star, orange, red, or yellow? Okay, ano ba yung heat transfer by radiation? Okay, again here it states that heat transfer radiation depends on the surface area of the body that radiates electromagnetic waves. So the rate of heat transfer by radiation is given to us by the Stefan Boltzmann law, in which it states that the rate of energy radiated per unit surface area is proportional to the fourth power of the temperature of the radiating body. This means that a star, a hotter star, will radiate more energy per unit surface area than a cooler nga star. Again ha, yung hotter nga star will radiate more energy per unit surface. Okay, so among here our choices, the hottest star or yung taas yung temperature na star according to its color is the color blue, and the coldest star here or lesser yung temperature na star is si letter C or si red star. Okay, however the question is assuming that all the stars, si blue, orange, red, and yellow, radiate energy at the same rate. Okay? Meaning, silang upat, they radiate energy at the same rate. Okay? Which of the following daw is the biggest? Okay? So, para mas, for example, para mas maapas sa lowest or kini ang coldest nga star, ang ginaradiate nga energy sa hottest nga star, si coldest na star should be bigger enough or big enough para makaradiate siya ng as much energy with the blue star. Okay? So again here, ang hotter daw nga star will radiate more energy per unit surface. That also means that a colder na star will radiate less energy per unit surface. So in order for a colder star to radiate equivalent energy as the blue star here, it should be big enough para or bigger than the blue star para mas kini ang ma-attain niya yung same rate of energy nga ginaradiate sa blue star, although it is smaller. Okay? So, the big star here should be letter C. Okay? Again, letter C or red star. If we assume that all stars radiate energy at the same rate, then the star with the largest surface area will be the one with the lowest temperature because it radiates less energy per unit surface area according to the Stefan Boltzmann law. So again, the star with the largest surface area will be the one with the lowest temperature if we assume that all these stars radiate energy at the same rate. So letter C ang ato ang best answer. Okay, number 2. During daytime, land is hotter than the sea. This inverts during nighttime. Sea is hotter than the land. What does this illustrate? Okay, so this phenomenon is best explained if we know about specific heat capacity. Ano ba yung specific heat capacity? Specific heat capacity of a substance is the amount of heat energy required to raise the temperature of one unit mass of that substance by 1 degree Celsius or Kelvin. Okay? So si water or si sea here has a higher specific heat capacity compared to land. Okay? That means tungod kay taas ay ang specific heat capacity, it requires more energy for water um, to raise its temperature by 1 degree. That means dugay, kung ma-expose sa sun during daytime, ang tubig dugay mo init compared sa yuta. Okay? So that means land has a lower specific heat capacity compared to the water. Okay? So that's the reason why during daytime, bugnaw-bugnaw ang water compared sa land. And then during nighttime, medyo init ang water compared sa land. Okay? Because taas siya specific heat capacity, dugay siya mo init, ug dugay pud mawala yang kainit. Si land, ubos siya specific heat capacity, paspas siya mo init, paspas na pud siya mo bugnaw. Okay? So letter B is our answer here. Okay? By the way, the specific heat capacity ng water is 4.18 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius, while si soil is 0.2 to 1.5 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius, depending on the composition of the soil. Okay? So, at best, it will only have 1.5 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius. Okay? So, number 3 is letter B. Number 4, while the first law of thermodynamics is a restatement of the conservation of energy, okay, that means first law, energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. Okay, the second law of thermodynamics limits the validity of this law. Okay, the law of entropy, that's the second law of thermodynamics. Which of the following is a violation of both the first and the second law? Okay, so letter A, an ice cube is placed in a hot coffee. The ice gets colder and the coffee gets hotter. Okay? So again, the question is asking violation ng dalawang law, yung first at saka second law of thermodynamics. Here, there is only violation ng second law because, the first law, because the coffee here gets hotter. Okay? So again, energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. So where did the energy to make the coffee hotter came from, since ang gidugang is only an ice cube, okay, which contains less or mostly no energy at all to make the coffee hotter than before. Okay, so only first law is being violated by the choice A. Okay, letter B. Butter is placed in a hot bread. The butter melts and the bread cools. Okay, so this one, no violation at all sa first law at saka sa second law, but it obeys the first law and the second law. Okay, kini ang first law again, energy cannot be created nor be destroyed, it can only be transformed. Okay, so yung butter nga butang sa hot bread, okay, yung hot bread, yung energy ni hot bread is being transferred to the butter. That is why the butter melts. So it is in obedience with the first law of thermodynamics. And the bread cools, again, because there is transfer of energy, okay, from hot to cold. Okay, and there is entropy here because the butter melts. Okay, so solid is contains less entropy or disorder compared to liquid. So when it melts, it becomes liquid, yung butter. So it has more entropy. So it obeys the first and the second law of thermodynamics. It does not violate. Okay? Letter C, cold water is placed in a cold glass. The glass gets colder and the water gets colder. Okay? So again here, um, only the first, okay, only the first law of thermodynamics is um, being violated here. The second is there's no violation, but um, there is obedience to the second law of thermodynamics, which is um, the increase of entropy. Okay, letter D is the correct answer here. Okay, because a hot metal is placed in a cold water. Okay, the metal gets hotter and the water gets colder. Okay, so again, um, a metal daw is placed in a cold water. Again, second law of thermodynamics, dapat yung heat energy from the metal will be transferred to the cold water. But here, the metal gets hotter. Where did it gets its extra energy to make it hotter? Okay, so it violates the first law, which states that there should be no energy that should be created nor destroyed, only transformed. And water gets colder here. It kiniang violates also the law of second law of thermodynamics, because instead of kiniang instead of increasing the entropy, okay, nagka-cold meaning nagka-cold ang water. It becomes kiniang somewhat crystallized. I'm sorry, it's not crystallized, frozen. Okay, which means it is becoming solid. That means the entropy is being um, lesser compared to um, before nga wala pa siya ni samot o kabugnaw. Okay, so there is violation here for the first law and the second law of thermodynamics. Again, first law, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only converted from one form to another. Second law, the total entropy of an isolated system always increases over time. Here, it decreases. Okay, so when water gets colder, okay, the entropy of water decreases. Okay, the entropy of water decreases. Ayan. So it is a violation of both first and the second laws of thermodynamics. Number 5. Heat can be transferred through conduction, convection, or radiation. When you place your finger at the side of a flame of a burning candle, the warmth that you feel is primarily caused by which mechanism of heat transfer? Okay, I know you're already familiar with this one. Conduction, there's direct contact. Convection, the heat transfer is via liquid or gas, okay, any fluid material. And then radiation, heat transfer can be done although there is no particles for the heat to travel, only vacuum. Okay, so here ang imong kamot ning init bisan tuod og layo ra siya sa burning candle. Okay, wala ka naggunit gyud sa kalayo. So this one is letter B, radiation. Okay, so radiation yung means of conducting heat here. Ayan. Okay, radiation, emission of electromagnetic rays, conduction, transfer of energy between adjacent molecules, convection, movement of a hot fluid. Okay, fluid, a fluid material could be a gas or a liquid. 6. When placed under the sun, a black pot water will warm first, then the white pot, because it is a good absorber of radiation. Okay, suppose the two pots were filled with boiling water, which pot will cool first? So again ha, gibutang sila under the sun ng black pot o white pot. But if you are going to put normal water sa black pot o white pot under the sun, si black pot will warm first, okay, then the white pot, because yung black pot is a good absorber of radiation, okay. But the scenario is still under the sun, but they are given, the two pots are given boiling water, both boiling water. When you say boiling water, it means it is 100 degrees Celsius yung temperature. Meaning, the same yung temperature na gibutang sa black pot at saka sa unsa na, black pot at saka sa unsa ni, white pot. So, the question is asking, which pot will cool first? Again, black pot will kini ang warm first because it is a good absorber. Okay? So, pag good absorber ang isa ka material ng radiation, which means ga-absorb siya ng more temperature. Okay? Pag more yung temperature na ma-absorb niya, it will radiate energy at a greater rate. Okay? So, the best answer here is letter C, black pot, because it will radiate energy at a greater rate. So, if it's absorb energy, it is a good absorber of energy, radiation, it means it is a good absorber of temperature. Okay? So, when it is a good absorber of temperature, it radiates energy at a greater rate. Okay? So, it gives off energy at a greater rate compared atong materials that are not really good at absorbing radiation. Okay? So, letter C is the best answer. Number 7. 3 objects, cotton, wood, and metal, are kept outside the room for a long time until all of them have the same. Okay? The same yung temperature nila sa tulo. Si cotton, si wood, ug si metal. Which object feels coldest when you touch it? Okay? Assuming that kini ang your temperature is the same with these 3 objects here, okay? They will all feel equally cold because they have the same temperature. Okay? So, the same lang po yung ma-feel mo nga coldness sa tulo kay the same naman ilang temperature. Okay? So, again, when 3 objects are at the same temperature, they all have the same amount of thermal energy. So, the rate at which they transfer heat to your hand when you touch them depends on their thermal conductivity and specific heat capacity. However, since all 3 objects are at the same temperature, they will transfer heat to your hand at the same rate and therefore feel equally cold. So, letter D is our best answer here. Number 3. 3 cups with the same amount of water are in a room with ambient temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. So, yung temperature ng room is 25 degrees Celsius. However, cup A has a temperature of 55 degrees Celsius. Cup B, 40 degrees Celsius. Cup C, 30 degrees Celsius. So, which cup will cool down at a faster rate? Okay, so we have an equation for this one. So, the correct answer is letter A. It's because letter A has the bigger temperature or higher temperature among the 3 cups. Okay, why? Okay, so the rate of cooling is related to the temperature difference between the object and its surroundings, as well as the specific heat capacity of the object. Take note with this one. The larger the temperature difference, the faster the object will cool. Okay? So, asa ang mas dako o temperature difference sa tulo, okay? Temperature difference meaning i-minus ni mong dako sa gamay. So, 55 minus 25, that will be 30. Okay? 40 minus 25, that will be 15. 30 minus 25, that will be 5. So, cup A will have a kiniang temperature difference with the surrounding temperature of 30 degrees Celsius, which means cup A will cool down faster. Again, the larger the temperature difference, the faster the object will cool. Okay? Number 9, evaporation is the process of converting liquid into gas. What can be done to increase the rate of evaporation of a liquid? Okay? Decrease the surface area, add more heat to the boiling liquid, okay? Increase the temperature, increase the pressure on the surface. It's either letter B or letter C. Okay? What does it mean by add more heat? Okay? Add more heat with the same temperature. Okay? It's kini ang not clear no on yung letter B. Okay? So the best answer here is letter C. If you want to increase the rate of evaporation, meaning yung pag-convert ng liquid into gas, okay? We should increase the temperature para paspas ang pag-evaporate. Okay? Kung magpabukal ka og tubig, mas dali mo hubas ang gipabukal nimo nga tubig if kusog ang kalayo nimo or mas init ang temperature sa imong kalayo. Okay? Number 10, latent heat is the amount of heat needed to change the phase of a given mass of a substance. Okay? Either solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or uh, liquid to gas, or gas to solid. Okay? How much heat is needed to change the phase of 1 kilogram of ice into 1 kilogram of water? Okay? So the correct answer here is 334,000 joules. Okay? Ganong 334,000 joules man. Okay? So the amount of heat needed to change the phase of a given mass of a substance is given by the formula Q. Okay? Yung amount of heat needed is equal to the mass of the substance times, ayan, the specific latent heat of the substance. Okay? So the mass of the substance here, which is water, is 1 kilogram. And the specific latent heat of water is equal to 334 joule, 334 334 joule per gram. So 1 kilogram, which is 1,000 gram in equal. Okay, so 1,000 gram times 334 joule, 34 joule per gram is equal to 334,000 joules, or 334 by 10 raised to the power of positive 3 joules. So letter A is the best answer. 11. Liquid water and steam can coexist in equilibrium at 100 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. Why does steam at 100 degrees Celsius cause more serious burn than liquid water at the same temperature and mass? Okay, makarelate ko ani kay napasok og steam sa pagluto. Okay? The reason why mas dako og damage nga ma-cause si steam 100 degree o Celsius nga steam compared sa liquid water nga 100 degrees Celsius po, it's because steam has more internal energy than water at the same temperature. Since yung pag-convert ni water into a gas, which is steam, okay, it requires energy. That means steam has more internal energy than water at the same temperature. So letter D ang atuang answer. Okay, so again, steam has undergone a phase change from liquid to gas, which requires energy. This means that steam has a higher heat content per unit mass than liquid water. Okay, 11 is letter D. 12. The second law of thermodynamics states that the natural processes proceed towards the direction of greater disorder or greater entropy. Which of the following obeys this statement? Okay? So, asa diyan naka-obey ng statement? This is the same yung choices with number 1. Okay? Asa itong naay naka-obey sa first and sa second law of thermodynamics? It's letter B. So, again, butter melts kung gibutang siya sa hot nga bread because yung energy from the hot na bread is being transferred to the batter, which makes it melt. Okay? So again, mas taas og entropy ang liquids compared to solids. Okay? Meaning mas taas o disorder ang liquid compared to solids. It's because their particles, okay, mas compact yung particles ng solids compared sa liquids. That is why it has higher entropy. So when butter melts, it has higher entropy or greater disorder. So letter B ang answer for this one. 13. Which of the following best explains why metals are both good heat and electrical conductors? So it's only the reason for this one are the valence electrons of electrical conductors. Okay, most metals or yung mga electrical conductors, yung valence electrons nila or yung outer electrons and their outer shell are loosely bound by the nucleus of the atom. Okay, so the correct answer here is letter B. The outer electrons in a metal atom are loosely bound. So meaning they can easily be transferred, yung electrons ng mga metals, especially yung conductors. They can easily be transferred from one atom to another atom because they are loosely bound yung valence electrons nila or outer electrons. 14. Imagine one of your feet steps on a metal floor and the other on a wooden floor, assuming that the metal and wooden floor both have the same temperature, pero mas ubos ang temperature kaysa sa imuhang tiil. Okay? So let's say for example, our body is 37 point something, yung normal na temperature. Okay? And then say for example, the metal at saka the wooden floor will have 25 degrees Celsius na temperature. Okay? Which floor will feel colder? Okay? Asa ka mas bugnaw sa tuang paminaw. Okay? Ang mas bugnaw is kadtong mas paspas makakandak ng heat. Okay? So asa man ang paspas makakandak ng heat? Is it metal or the wood? Okay, of course, from the previous na question, si metal is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, so kung good conductor siya ng heat, that means it will take away some heat from your feet faster compared to the wooden floor, because wooden floor is not a good conductor of heat, meaning or no heat is being transferred from your body to the wooden floor compared to the ang metal floor, which is a good conductor of heat, meaning your body will transfer at a faster rate heat energy padulong sa metal na floor, and that is why you will feel the metal floor as colder compared sa wooden floor. So the correct answer here is letter C, metal floor, because it is a good conductor, thus conducting heat out of the food. Okay? So again, because it is a good conductor of heat, which means it will rapidly conduct heat away from the food. 15. Where should an air conditioner be placed to efficiently cool a room? Okay? Asa kasagaran ginabutang ang mga air conditioner? Okay? Near the ceiling ba? Yes, no? Almost of the air conditioner is kini ang naa sa ibabaw, near the ceiling or near sa kisame. Okay? It's not near the floor. Wala man kayo kasagaran kini ang air conditioner nga duol sa kini ang sana sa salug, no? It's either letter A or letter B. Letter A, near the ceiling, because the air is less dense at the top. Okay? Letter B, near the ceiling, because warm air rises and cold air sinks. Okay? Letter A is correct. Okay? Less dense yung air at the top. When we say less dense, meaning gamay ra og air at the top of the ceiling or near the ceiling. Okay? Ano kayang gamay raw air? Okay? Um, it's because of the temperature of the air. Okay? So when air warms up, it will rises. Okay? So when air naman is cools down, it will sink. Okay? So kung mubugnaw na ang hangin, it will go to the near the floor or mapaubos ang hangin kung bugnaw siya. And then yung kini ang hotter na hangin will rise up padulong sa ceiling. Okay? So that is why we need to put the air conditioner, okay, near the ceiling para katong mga init nga hangin nga naa sa taas nagstay, it will be kini ang unsa na mabugnawan itong mga init nga hangin nga nasa taas. And therefore, yung init nga hangin pag mabugnaw siya is again, it will kini ang calm down. Okay? Paubos yung mga cold air. So the correct answer here is letter B. Near the ceiling because warm air rises and cold air sinks. This is the best answer. Okay? So again, anong ginabutang nato ang mga air conditioner above or near the ceiling and not above the ceiling. Near the ceiling, okay? Or above sa tuang ulo. It's because na dinha dapit nagtapok ang mga warm nga air sa baba. Okay? Because warm air is less dense compared to cold air. Okay? Cold air is more denser compared to less air. 16. Energy from the sun reaches the earth even though the space between them is almost vacuum. By what mechanism of heat transfer does the sun transfer energy to the earth? Okay, it's very easy. It's radiation again. Okay, conduction, direct contact, convection, heat transfer by fluid. Okay, either gas or liquid. But here, through vacuum, so it's radiation. 17. Ice can be made from water through the process of freezing. What happens to the entropy of water as it was converted into ice? Again, as what I have told you before, solid is less ang kanyang entropy compared sa liquid. Again, ang particles ng solid are compact, mas compact siya compared sa particles ng liquids, which is mostly bulag-bulag or lagyo-lagyo ang is not compacted. Okay? So that means that solids have lesser entropy compared to liquids. So when water is being converted into ice, its entropy is lesser na. That means the entropy decreases. So letter B ang answer. Okay, when water freezes, its molecules form a highly ordered crystal structure, reducing the randomness of the molecular motion and decreasing the entropy of the system. Okay, so na-compact na siya or na-ordered na yung structure or particles ng water na nasa ice. Alright. 18. A metal spoon is placed in a cup filled with hot water. Hot coffee pala. After some time, the exposed end of the spoon became hot even without a direct contact with a liquid. What explains this phenomenon? Okay, so imagine that you have a cup with a hot coffee. You put in yung side ng spoon kung asa pwede na ito gamitin sa paghigop. Okay, and after some time, you notice that the spoon, yung handle ng spoon, nga wala naka-directly in contact with the coffee, hot coffee, becomes hot. Okay? So, unsa naman? What is the mechanism for heat transfer here? Okay? So, yung part ng, unsa na? Yung part ng spoon na nakasubmerge dito sa hot coffee, there is conduction, no? Kaya ning init man to siya. And then yung hot side or yung side ng spoon nga naka-submerge sa coffee, nga niinit na siya, okay? Yung particles niya nga sumpay lang dito sa particles nga wala naka-submerge, okay? So there is direct contact sa hot nga kini ang side sa spoon ug sa katong dili pa hot nga sides nga sa spoon because it is not submerged. So there's direct contact between them. So between the particles of the two sides of the spoon, that means there is a direct transfer of heat energy from the particles or the atoms nga nakasubmerge sa spoon or sa coffee padulong sa atoms nga wala nakasubmerge sa coffee in the spoon. So there is direct contact, so that means it is conduction. Okay? 19. Which process of heat transfer happens by the movement of mass from one place to another? Okay, it's movement of mass. It could be gas or kini ang movement of gas or movement of liquid. Okay, heat transfer, that is convection. Okay, letter B, convection. 20. Which causes the warmth that you feel when you place your finger at the side of the flame of a burning candle? The same again, it is radiation. 21. When work is done by a system, what happens to its temperature assuming that no heat is added to it? Okay? So, nahumana daw, work is done by a system. What happens to its temperature assuming that no heat is added? So, if there is no heat is added, yung temperature will surely decrease. So, letter D. Okay? So, the work is already done by the system. However, there is no addition of heat. That means the temperature will decrease. Okay? So, assuming again that no heat is added to the system, when work is done by a system, its internal energy decreases and consequently, its temperature decreases. And this is called or known as adiabatic cooling. Okay? Adiabatic cooling means that there is no heat added to the system or no heat nga naggawas from the system. That is adiabatic cooling or adiabatic process, one of the thermodynamic processes. 22, which states that when two systems are in thermal equilibrium with the third system, then they are in thermal equilibrium with each other. So this is zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay? 23. What happens in a adiabatic process? Again, as what I have said kanina, there is no heat or temperature. There is no heat energy nga mosulod sa system. Wala po yung gawas sa system. So it's letter A. Okay, no heat is exchanged between the system and its surrounding. That means no heat enters or leaves the system. Ayan, so naman Alright, ang answer. Okay, so what thermodynamic process is involved in a closed car inside a hot garage? Okay, so closed yung car, ang outside na, kini ang temperature is very hot. Okay, the answer is isochoric. Ano ba yung isochoric? This means that the volume of the car's interior remains constant. Okay, as the car is a closed system. So, walay nausab sa volume sa car because it is a closed car, it is a closed system. And no work is being done on the system to change its volume. So the best thermodynamic process that explains this one is yung isochoric, also known as the constant volume process. Because the volume inside the car is constant, meaning wala na change, although na ay taas niya temperature outside ana nga system. Okay? Again, adiabatic, okay? No heat exchange between the system and its surroundings. So, without any heat entering or leaving the system. How about isobaric? Okay, refers to a thermodynamic process kung asa ang pressure remains constant. Here, sa isochoric, constant ang volume. Sa isobaric, constant ang pressure. But the other properties like volume, temperature, and internal energy may change. That is isobaric. Isothermal, on the other hand, the temperature of a system remains constant while heat is added or removed from the system. 25. Consider the thermal energy transfer during a chemical process. When heat is transferred to the system, okay, meaning na ay gigamit na energy. So in chemistry gani, pag na ay for example ng na gigamit na energy in the chemical process is yung photosynthesis, and the energy is given sa sunlight. So photosynthesis is a type of endothermic na process. Okay? So it's either letter A or letter B. Okay? So when heat is transferred to the system, the process is said to be endothermic, and the sign of H, by the way, in thermodynamics is enthalpy. Okay? Is it positive or negative? So the sign of enthalpy is positive. Okay, nga naman. Enthalpy is defined as the sum of the internal energy of a system and the product of its pressure and volume. So, kini ang internal energy man of a system, okay, is kini ang nag-increase here. That means the enthalpy should be positive. Okay? So, again, when heat is transferred to the system, the process is called endothermic, which means that that energy is absorbed from the surroundings. The sign of H is positive because the enthalpy of the system increases as it absorbs heat. 26. Which of the following statements is false? Okay? Yan, naka-highlight na yung correct na answer. The correct answer here is letter D. The change in entropy in a system depends daw on the initial and final states of the system, which is correct. Okay, this one is correct. Yung wala naka-highlight ng red. Okay, the first part of the statement is correct. However, the second one is not correct. Okay, so regardless of the path taken, okay, entropy will happen. Okay, so wala gina-consider ang path taken from one state to the other for the entropy to occur. Okay, so this is a false one because the last part of the statement is false. Okay, letter A, entropy increases with the number of microstates of the system. Okay, so kung daghan ng microstates, mas taas ang entropy. Letter B, any irreversible process results in an overall increase in entropy. Again, disorder. Pag dili mabalik ang na disorder into order, that means kini ang increase in entropy. Okay? Letter C, which is correct. Letter C, the total entropy of the universe increases in any spontaneous process. Every time there is process in the universe, entropy increases. Okay? Disorder increases. 27. During a refrigerator cycle, heat is ejected by the refrigerant in blank compressor, condenser, evaporator, or expansion valve. So look at the picture here. Okay, compressor. Okay, compressor here. Ang ginabuhat niya is iyahang ginapataas ang pressure sa gas para mo init siya. Okay, pagtaas ang pressure sa gas, it will have kini ang higher kinetic energy, and since it has higher kinetic energy, it will have also higher temperature. And then ang buhaton ana ni condenser is the heat from this high pressure na gas is iyang i-transfer to the outside na air. So the heat is ejected by the condenser during a refrigerator na cycle. So letter B atong answer. 28. Which of the following correctly describes a refrigerator system? So refrigerator system gani, ang init, pabugnaw. Okay? So, asa man din ha? Rejects energy to a low temperature body. Rejects energy to a high temperature body. O say reject. Okay? Or removes heat from a low temperature. Okay? Low temperature na gani. Kuhaan pag mong heat. Okay? And delivers it to a high temperature body. No. The best answer here is letter D. Removes heat from a high temperature body and delivers it to a low temperature body. Okay? Refrigerator. Buhat sa refrigerator, di ba? Magpabugnaw. Okay? So, yung init nga gas temperature is pabugnawon sa refrigerator. Alright, 29. How much heat is needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 Celsius degree? Okay? So, the correct answer here is letter B, but it should be 4,186 joules. Okay? Pero kay sa atong choices, siya man ang pinakaduol sa 4,186 joules, so we will select this one as the correct answer. Okay? So, the specific heat capacity of water is this one, 4.186 joules. Okay? Or 4.186 joules, kilojoules dapat na siya. Okay? Or 4,186 joules, which means it takes 4.186 joules of heat to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. To raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius, it would take 4,186 joules of heat. Okay? Kay, how much heat is needed by the question? Meaning, it talks about the specific heat capacity sa 1 kilogram of water. Okay? So, para mo taas o isa ka degree Celsius or Celsius degree ang temperature sa 1 kilogram of water, we should kini ang apply a 4,186 joules of heat para mas mataas ang iyang temperature. 30. Land breeze and sea breeze result from the convection currents that steer the atmosphere during sunny daytime, okay, ting init nga adlaw. In which direction does cool breeze blow? When we say cool breeze, yung bugnaw na hangin, okay, aha daw ang direction sa cool breeze na blow. Again, during daytime, dugay mo init si water, which means bugnaw si water. Okay? And si land is paspas mo init, which means hotter si water. Okay? So, yung yung temperature above the sea or water is ni ang colder compared sa temperature above the land during daytime. That means yung air from the sea is colder compared sa air nga naa sa land, which is hotter kay taas man ang temperature above the land during daytime. So that means kung taas ang temperature above the land during daytime, taas po ang temperature sa hangin nga mo paubos padlong sa yuta during that time. Okay? So yung cool breeze o yung bugnaw nga hangin during daytime is magikan sa dagat kay mas ubos og temperature yung above the sea nga mga gases. Okay? So the correct answer here, cool breeze will blow from sea to land. So letter C ang answer. 31. Which energy conversion takes place when a toaster is switched on? Okay? Toaster kanang toasted sa bread. Okay? Kasagaran toaster is ginasaksak man sa kurente. So, electrical energy ang gigamit para i-toast sa bread. Okay? So, that is electrical, and then ang product niya is yung transform na energy is heat, so that will be electrical to thermal na energy. Heat energy or thermal energy, they are the same. 32. When coal is burned to produce electricity, the electrical energy produced is less than the potential energy of the coal. Which best explains this observation. Okay? Ngano daw nga ang potential energy sa coal is dili equal sa electrical energy nga iyang maproduce, no? Gamay ra yung electrical energy nga maproduce compared sa potential energy sa coal. Nga dapat if we're going to talk about first law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. So kung lesser ang maproduce na electrical energy compared sa potential energy sa coal, asa ka padulong tong other na energy. So na-lost ba ang energy here? Ang potential energy here sa coal, na-lost ba? Kay lesser man ang electrical energy nga na-produce. Okay, no. There is no loss of energy here, but there is kini ang conversion of energy here. Some of the potential energy sa coal is being converted into electrical energy, and the other is being converted as heat energy. Okay? So letter C is the best answer. Some of the potential energy in the coal is converted into forms of energy other than electricity, which is heat. Okay? To be specific, heat energy ang na-produce mo na nga. Some of the potential energy in coal is converted into electrical, and then the other is heat energy. Okay? 33. What is true of all combinations of resistors arranged in parallel? Okay? Kung sa daw tinuod sa combination sa tanan sa resistors na naka-arrange in parallel. Current splits down each leg of the combination. Voltage is constant across each leg of the combination. Resistance is the same for each leg of the combination. Okay? So remember, ang kaibahan ni series at saka ni parallel na circuit. In series, okay, the same yung current nga ga-flow, okay, in each resistor. Again, in series, the same yung current nga ga-flow in each resistor. However, yung voltage in each resistor is not the same sa series. Okay? Sa parallel, dili the same ang current nga ga-flow in each resistor. However, the voltage in each resistor is the same. Okay? So again, series na circuit, current the same lang, voltage not the same in each resistor. Parallel circuit, current is not the same in each resistor, but voltage is the same in each resistor. Okay? So, parallel man ang pangayon niya. So, the best answer here is letter A. Okay? 1 and 2 only. Current splits down each leg of the combination, meaning dili parehas ang current nga mo flow sa isa ka leg sa combination to the other combination. However, yung voltage is the same throughout each resistor. So, for example here, natay 20 nga current here. Okay? So, some of the current will flow padulong aning resistor, yung resistor number 1, and some of the current here will flow padulong sa resistor 2 and padulong sa resistor 3. So, which means yung current nga naa sa resistor 1, resistor 2, o resistor 3 are not the same. Okay? However, yung voltage in a parallel na circuit, okay, yung voltage in resistor 1, 2, and 3, they are the same. Okay, again, series circuit, same yung current, different yung voltage in each resistor. Parallel circuit, different ang current in each resistor, the same yung voltage in each resistor. So, the correct answer here again is letter A. 34. What is a closed continuous path through which electrons can flow? It's very easy. It's circuit. Okay, circuits, yeah. It's not charge, it's not resistor, it's not voltage. It's circuit. 35. What will be your charge if you scrape electrons from your feet while scuffing across the rug? When you say scrape electrons, you mean you are removing electrons from your feet um, while scuffing across the rug. Okay? While ikuan ka sa rug. So if you are removing electrons from your feet, that means lesser ang electrons sa imuhang body. That means you will have a positive charge. Okay? Kaya mas daghan imong positive charge kaysa sa imong negative na charge. Kaya mas daghan ang imong proton compared sa electrons. Kaya electrons is being scraped away from your feet by scuffing across the rug. So it should be positive ang imuhang charge. 36. A 6 ohm and 12 ohm resistors are connected in parallel. Okay, parallel sila with each other to a battery. Which of the following is true? Okay, so true here is letter D. Okay, the potential difference across the two resistor is the same. Again, in parallel, different yung current that flows in each resistor. However, in parallel, voltage in each resistor are the same. Okay? And voltage is also known as potential difference. Okay? Again, voltage is also known as potential difference. And again, in parallel, yung potential difference or yung voltage are the same across the resistors. So, the same po yung potential difference across the two resistors here in this question. So, letter D is the best answer. 37. A new 1.5 volts dry cell furnishes 30 ampere when short-circuited. Find the internal resistance of the cell. So, we will use this one. We will solve this one using Ohm's law. So, Ohm's law states that a voltage is equal to current times resistance. So, we can rearrange that kini ang equation to get the resistance because we are looking for the resistance. Okay? So, resistance is equal to voltage divided by current. So, voltage here is 1.5, current is 30. So, 1.5 divided by 30, that will be 0.05 ohms. So, yung resistor will have a 0.05 ohms resistance. So, letter A ang answer. 38. If three identical lamps are connected in parallel to a 6 volts dry cell, okay, parallel gihapon, 6 ang iyang volts or voltage, what is the voltage drop across each lamp? So again, in parallel, the same ang voltage. So meaning, in each lamp, there is 6 voltage because the total voltage is 6. And in parallel circuit, again, the voltage across each resistor or each lamp will be the same. Okay? Because lamps can have resistance. So, they can also be considered as resistors. 39. Which of the following describes an electric current? So, ng electric current gani? Okay? It is flow of electricity. Okay? Or flow of electrons. Okay, electric current is flow of electrons. That means the movement of charged particles in a specific direction. That is an electric current. To be specific, yung charged particle nga move is yung electrons, not the protons. The protons will stay, but yung outer electrons, yung mga valence electrons sa wire will move if there is a voltage or potential difference. 40. A 10 watts bulb and a 20 watts bulb are connected in a series. Which bulb has the more current flowing in it? Again, in series nga circuit, the same yung current nga flow in each resistor or in each bulb. Again, bulbs can have resistance, so we can also consider bulbs or lamps as resistors. And again, in series na circuit, current are kini ang the same sa each bulb, but the voltage is different. But in parallel circuit, current is not the same, in each bulb or each resistor, but voltage is the same. But here, series man ang circuit, that means the same lang pod ang current nga ga-flow in each bulb. Regardless if it is a 10 watts bulb or a 20 watts na bulb. So the correct answer here is letter C. Okay? So dito lang muna yung part 1. Yung part 2 will be uploaded later on. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from our discussion. Goodbye and thank you.